Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with All Things Barbecue, and today I'm going to be making a Neapolitan-style pizza on the Uuni 3 portable wood-fired oven. Now, like a lot of you, I have been a big fan of pizza for a long time. I mean, in high school, one of my first jobs that I had was at a pizza shop. I worked at a pizzeria while I was going to culinary school, and after culinary school, I spent years working for one of the best bakeries in Portland who had a standing weekly pizza night. Now today we're going to be making Neapolitan-style pizza, and Neapolitan-style pizza has some very specific rules. So I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm probably going to break one or two. Take it easy. It's going to be all right. We're going to have a good time today. We're going to make some very simple, very delicious pizza. And hopefully I can share with you a few of the tips, the tricks, the techniques I've picked up over the years working around pizza. We're scaling our pizza dough to start this process. And we're gonna need 650 grams of warm water. Now this water is sitting right between 110 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfect. And this is a really simple recipe. All it calls for is water, yeast, flour, and salt. Now I know that fresh yeast is kind of hard to get a hold of sometimes, so we're using a dry active yeast to make sure that everyone can access this recipe at home. So after the 10 grams of yeast, we're gonna need 1 kilo of double-aught flour. And this is a super fine flour. It's great for pizza because of its high gluten content. And last, I want to add about 15 grams of kosher salt. All right, we're going to place this on the stand mixer with the hook attachment and get this going on medium-low speed. As soon as the dough comes together, we want to set a timer for 9 minutes. All right, from here, we're going to transfer this to a greased bowl. You can make this a little bit easier on yourself by wetting your hands first. So we're going to cover this up with plastic wrap and allow it to rise up to about doubled in size, so it'll pretty much fill this bowl. But this dough's been rising for a couple of hours now, and you can see we've filled this bowl up. At this point, we want to get it out of the bowl and divide it up into the individual dough balls. All right, so this batch is going to make me a half dozen dough balls. So I'm going to divide this in half, and then each of these into thirds. Now from here, we're just going to work these into a ball shape, tucking the dough into the center, rotating, and then we'll place them on a piece of parchment and fill up these pans before moving them to the refrigerator. So we have a nice tight surface, but it's not overworked, it's not tearing, and that is just perfect. And I'm just going to cover these with some plastic wrap. It's got the pan spray on it so that we don't form too much of a crust on the outside. And we'll place these in the fridge to rest for at least half an hour before stretching. While those dough balls are resting and before we stretch them out, I want to put together a really simple red pizza sauce. So it all starts with San Marzano tomatoes. We're going to add to that 1 clove of minced garlic. And last, just a touch of kosher salt. And then we're going to mash this up by hand. So these are whole tomatoes that we're just breaking down into nice small pieces. Now, if you want this to be a little bit thicker sauce, you can strain off some of the liquid so that it kind of reduces down. But this is going to be a raw sauce. It'll go on the pizza just like this. For cheese, we're going to use a fresh mozzarella. Traditionally, that's a mozzarella campagna or a buffalo mozzarella. You just want to make sure you're using a fresh mozzarella and certainly not something that comes in a bag and is already shredded up. We're going to slice these nice and thin, and we'll tear them up to put them on the pizzas. Like I said, we're cooking today on the Uuni 3S portable wood-fired oven, and we just recently shot a product roundup on it. If you guys are interested in how this thing comes together and how it works, go check it out. We'll put a link down in the description. But basically all we need to do to get this thing started is get our firebox loaded up with pellets and get it lit with a torch. We've got some good flame now, so we want to fill up the hopper with more pellets. At this point, we can put the lid on. The air is drawing from the back side of the unit. The door on the front is in place, and the chimney cap is off, so we create this draft and start to burn a really hot fire. Now, in about 10 to 15 minutes, this is going to be ready to cook on. The oven's preheated, it's nice and hot, sitting at about 775 degrees on the surface. The dough's ready to go, so I'm gonna stretch these out and get our pizzas built. We'll start with a layer of flour, make sure that our dough doesn't stick to the peel. I'm just gonna press this out a little bit and stretch it by hand. This dough feels fantastic. It's exactly where it needs to be. We're not going to go too large on this. We'll leave a little thicker around the edges. Make sure it's going to move. Nice. So we'll get some sauce down. We're going pretty light. Generally speaking, we're not going to go heavy on the toppings on a pizza like this. So this pizza margherita style of the Neapolitan pizza is going to have some red sauce, as well as some mozzarella and a little bit of basil, and that's it. It's really simple. Now the debate is, do we put the basil on when we cook the pizza, or do we wait until after? I've had it both ways, and I think it tastes great both ways, but it looks just beautiful when you wait until after. So we're gonna put some basil on this after it comes out. And one last touch, just a drizzle of olive oil. All right, this is probably about 20 seconds into the cook. We're just gonna rotate this a little bit so we don't get too dark on the back. And back in there. Beautiful color around the outside. Nice and crusty, totally firm, browned on the top. That's a nice 60-second pizza. And let this basil just melt into the top of this pizza. And I really want to hit it with just a little bit of Parmigiano. Wood-fired flavor to the max. I mean, that sincerely tastes like a wood-fired pizza. And it's crispy on the bottom, still a little doughy around the edges. The flavors are simple, but they're sincere and they're delicious. Okay, let's have a little more fun. Let's see what we can do with a few more toppings. So again, as we stretch this, we're gonna create a border so it's a little thicker around the edges, and then stretch it nice and thin in the center. And for this particular pie, we're going to shy away from some of the traditions and add some of our favorite pizza toppings. Of course, we're still going to start with our tomato base. I'm going to add to that a little bit of Genoa salami, some thin shaved fennel, some nice thin red peppers. And just make sure that you're not overloading the pie, and anything you add to it needs to be sliced nice and thin, because we're going to be cooking this pie in probably about 90 seconds. Little mozzarella right there on top. And that's good to go. This thing looks just perfect, just the right amount of color on it, just the right amount of color on the bottom as well. And it's nice and crispy. It doesn't get much better than that. I definitely think you guys probably want to stay in tonight. Forget about delivery. It's probably time to cook your own pizza at home. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hold up, wait. We should do one more. I think we should do one more for the barbecue lovers, because you guys have made this channel what it is. And I've got a pork butt I smoked yesterday, leftover, just dying to end up on a pizza. Let's do one more. All right, I'm gonna start off just the same as the other ones. I think we could still do a little bit of red sauce on here. And of course, we've got to have our pork butt. Look at that beautiful bark sitting on the outside of there. Spice it up with some onions, a little bit of red bell. Gotta have that mozzarella. And of course, a little bit of barbecue sauce. Looking pretty good. Parmesan melting onto the top of that pizza is a beautiful thing. Well, everyone is going home happy today. Thanks so much for following us down this pizza rabbit hole today. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, or there's anything that you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to thesauce.atbbq.com. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.